This is 9 News with Georgie Gardner.
Good evening. State and federal police are investigating threats of violence against 2 Sydney female MPs after they condemned a neo-Nazi rally on the weekend. But tonight, the leader of the White Australia Group is making no apology for the threats to Kelly Sloan and Allegra Spender, as the Premier looks to beef up anti-hate speech laws.
Neo-Nazis on Saturday with a police-sanctioned rally outside Parliament. Their sign, abolish the Jewish lobby. One of the first to condemn the White Australia Group, member for Vaucluse, Kelly Sloan.
It was designed to intimidate, to undermine the Jewish community in particular.
This morning she was hit with abuse on social media, including an image of a noose with the words, "Time to shut up and die."
There were dozens of abusive messages. It was the typical Twitter pile-on. Some of those messages were worthy of passing on to police because they were particularly intimidating, particularly violent.
Joel Davis is the spokesman for the White Australia Group.
I get death threats and all kinds of threats all the time with what I do. It comes with the territory, so stop crying.
Federal MP Allegra Spender was named in a post from Joel Davis. "Patriots, I bid thee to rhetorically rape Allegra Spender."
Yeah, it was pretty shocking and not something you ever want to hear, but we've referred it to the police, and I've got a lot of confidence in the AFP.
Are you willing to apologise for your tweet regarding Allegra Spender? You said people should rhetorically rape her.
I think the Allegra Spender and her colleagues should apologise for their policies to do with mass immigration.
The neo-Nazis might have got away with their rally here on the weekend, but Premier Chris Minns is now trying a new tack. He wants to pass laws that ban any kind of Nazi-inspired speeches and slogans.
We need to draw bigger, bolder, bright lines between hate speech and free speech.
If he wants to pass ridiculous, unconstitutional laws against freedom of speech, we will fight them in the courts and we will win.
Just 67 men, all in black, but still the fallout 2 days on. It's now reported the one-time candidate for Police Commissioner, Peter Thurtell, now the Deputy, was made aware of the protest beforehand, but that information wasn't passed on.
The Minister and the Premier and the Police Commissioner didn't know it was happening is, to be frank, a complete stuff-up.
This is the letter outlining the plan for the rally sent to police. It's signed by sworn racist, neo-Nazi Jack Eltis. It even reveals the slogan to be used, abolish the Jewish lobby. Mark Burrows, 9 News.
When he spoke, Australia listened. John Laws had the ear of politicians and punters, and today it was their turn to speak, paying tribute to the legendary broadcaster who died yesterday, aged 90.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
Hello world, this is John Laws.
A classic catch cry which will live on forever. The king of radio is dead, and today those who've tried to follow in his footsteps were in mourning.
Congratulations on a remarkable contribution. Your impact on Australia is deeper than your voice.
He was a funny,
he was
he was more caring than people give him credit for.
And I have no fear in nominating John Laws as the greatest radio broadcaster this country has ever produced.
90 years old, his family confirming his passing. It is comforting to know that John's was a life well lived and that he died peacefully at home. The man with the golden touch and with the tonsils to go with it, Laws was a talkback trailblazer, opening up the phone lines and becoming a voice to the people.
No, I don't think anybody cares about him.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do.
Born in New Guinea and educated in Sydney before radio came calling. His first on-air job, 3BO Bendigo in 1953. He went on to rule the airwaves with a platform and popularity that drew everyone from the punters...
Mate, I'm 50 and I reckon your show's the tops.
Thank you.
...to Prime Ministers.
Australia, Paul Keating, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, John.
Today it was Anthony Albanese's turn.
And those golden tonsils leaning into that golden microphone was something that Australians felt was a part of their everyday experience.
And with that velvet voice, John Laws was an advertiser's dream.
You know what I mean?
Valvoline.
But there were the secret ads that got him into strife. On-air plugs for products that came with undisclosed payments, cash for comment, but laws always had the final say.
I mean, commercial radio, what did they expect to hear on it, if not commercials?
And he was not a one-hit wonder, dabbling in TV. His early days as a guest spot on Skippy, playing a dodgy real estate agent trying to sell a national park.
You could search the world over, you wouldn't find a better place than this. You take it from honest Jack Jamison.
But the microphone brought him his fame and fortune. It was hard to let go. And so too was saying goodbye to wife Caroline, his princess, in 2020. This time last year, he finally hung up the headphones for good.
How has retirement treated you?
I hate it.
It's now the long goodbye, friends like his neighbour, actor Russell Crowe. He worked hard, played harder and loved completely. A legend. And a loyal fan named Ash.
And I was so lonely. My husband would leave for work and I had this new baby and I'd wait for John to come on every morning to keep me company and keep me connected to the world.
But in the meantime, what do? I say goodbye.
And ain't it funny?
Damien Ryan, 9 News.
And we've just learned in the past hour that the Laws family has accepted the government's offer of a state funeral. The details on when and where are yet to be confirmed. Georgie?
Damo, thank you. 3 police officers have allegedly been assaulted during an arrest at St Mary's. They were trying to question a 36-year-old man accused of destroying property inside a gym on Chapel Street. But he allegedly became aggressive and lashed out. One of the injured officers was taken to hospital. A Western Sydney father has been jailed for 16 years over the road rage killing of a young tradie in Blackett last year. The judge today said he wanted to send a loud and clear message that cars cannot be used as weapons.
A mother and father relieved their son's death may prevent others.
I think it gives a message to anybody that does road rage and takes another life to think twice.
Landscaper Reece Harding was on his way to work near Mount Druitt in June last year when he was cut off by Bradley Wilkinson, who then slowed down and blocked him, inviting a confrontation. Footage shows Reece getting out of his car. Seconds later, he's grabbed by his high-vis shirt and dragged 50 metres down Jersey Road at Blackett before he's run over and left to die.
As Mr Harding was held against the offender's vehicle, he was defenceless. The offender used his vehicle as a weapon against Mr Harding, bringing about his death.
Today, Wilkinson, a Western Sydney father of 3, was sentenced to a maximum of 16 years jail for manslaughter and failing to stop.
I think finally, I thought the legal system's waking up. Finally, they're giving a sentence that is deserving.
If I could have stood up in the court and did a happy dance, you would have seen it.
While Reece's family hugged and cried in court, Wilkinson hung his head and didn't flinch as a judge sentenced him to a non-parole period of 12 years.
The message must be sent loud and clear that the use of motor vehicles as weapons will not be tolerated and significant punishments will follow.
And when you hear it on the news that someone else has died through someone else's hands, it all comes back of what they're feeling, what their parents are going to receive, what their loved ones are going to receive. It's sad. It's hurtful.
Emma Partridge, 9 News.
The risks posed by certain inmates is being reviewed by the state government following a prison officer protest that saw thousands of workers walk off the job. The industrial action took place at the end of last month over a community sentence handed to an inmate who assaulted 4 prison guards at Cessnock. Ministers are hoping the review will improve staff safety. A truck loaded with onions burst into flames early this morning, bringing the M1 near Morisset to a standstill. Emergency crews battled the fire under the Mandalong Road overpass as diesel spilled onto the highway. Drivers have been warned to allow extra travel time. A staggering number of small businesses say they're on the brink of collapse due to soaring operating costs, especially energy bills. The industry crisis is putting pressure on the government to extend energy relief, with families also feeling the pinch.
Shoppers stroll past Christmas trees and Santa waves from windows, but tonight nearly a third of Australia's small businesses say this Christmas could be their last.
It comes from things like rising costs, high energy costs, and also the amount of time that they've got to spend on doing compliance tasks.
New ABS data shows business turnover rose 2.2% in the month of September, led by a surge in manufacturing and mining as demand for gold jumped. But it's retailers struggling, where trade grew but just 0.1%.
Small business is the backbone of the economy. Many of them are under a lot of pressure.
Our number one focus is always on cost of living and on the economy and making a difference to people's pockets.
Tonight, charities say demand is high heading into Christmas, and if families struggle, retailers will too.
We're hearing from Australians across the board that they're struggling. They're struggling to put food on the table.
The other big expense is electricity. With power bill subsidies about to expire, the government is under internal pressure to extend relief to households and businesses.
We know that Australians want to see help from the government. We've been there with the energy bill relief.
Well, I've said that the rebates won't be a permanent feature. We'll always look, though, at cost of living as our number one priority.
And despite crying out for lower energy prices, business groups agree.
We'd be very cautious about advocating for that. At some point, those rebates have got to be unwound.
And with energy prices a driver of inflation, a warning from the Reserve Bank.
More plausibly, perhaps, at the moment, you might worry about how much remaining room there is.
Meaning interest rate cuts may be forecast.
Done, so congratulations.
But they're far from guaranteed. Charles Croucher, 9 News.
Former Labor Senator Graham Richardson is to be given a state funeral. The former Hawke Keating minister received an OA in 2020 for his service to Parliament and was known for his sharp political commentary. He died on Saturday at the age of 76. The longest US government shutdown in its history could soon be over, with the Senate today reaching a reopen deal. The breakthrough comes after President Donald Trump was booed at a football game in Washington, D.C.
The US president drowned out by boos.
And I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
At a football game in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, the first sitting US president in nearly half a century to attend a regular season NFL game.
How many touchdowns did you have back then?
Oh,
6,
right
7?
I'm not sure I had any.
On the field, a celebration Trump style. But while imitation may be a form of flattery, the crowd didn't agree. The jeering comes during the longest government shutdown in US history. The president had returned to Washington, D.C. with a plea for the nation.
Country's doing well. The Democrats have to open it up.
And on Capitol Hill, an answer came.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
Enough Democrats have now backed a move to extend government funding, breaking a stalemate and edging closer to ending the impasse. More than 1 million federal workers have been without pay, air traffic controller shortages leading to 2,000 flights cancelled today.
So now I'm scrambling, trying to find a flight back.
Meanwhile,
some breaking news to bring you about the BBC.
The BBC's Director General and News CEO have bowed to pressure, resigning over a misleading edit of Donald Trump's Insurrection Day speech in a documentary. The president declaring they were caught doctoring my very good, perfect speech. What a terrible thing for democracy. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
Former South Australian Premier Jay Weatherill has been announced as Australia's next High Commissioner to the UK. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said Mr Weatherill's experience positions him as the right person to oversee delivery of the AUKUS deal. The state government has proudly spruiked the South West Metro extension is on track, despite it being delayed by a year. That comes at a price for surrounding businesses, which have lost 50% of their trade as construction blows out.
There's movement at Lakemba Station. Soon these trains will be hitting top gear. High-speed testing about to get underway, trialling carriages at 100 kilometres an hour on the South West Metro from Sydenham to Bankstown.
I know the $64,000 question for many businesses is when will this line open? And the truth of the matter is it'll be the second half of 2026.
That's cold comfort for nearby businesses like Helmi Abusham's bakery.
It's going to be disaster in Lakemba.
How much business have you lost?
50%. Every shop you ask in Lakemba.
They were initially promised the metro would be up and running this month.
Normally I open from 5 o'clock in the morning until 6, 7, and now I close 3 o'clock or 2:30 because there's nobody after, no people. Nobody cares.
A delay on the South West Metro, a delay on the Airport West Metro, and a delay on the Western Sydney Metro. This is a government that fails to deliver when it comes to metros.
And the disruptions don't end there. Metro services won't run for 6 days between now and New Year's, on the 22nd and 23rd of November, and from December 27 to December 30.
Closures up to Tallawong, so they're very substantial closures.
When it's completed, there will be a metro every 4 minutes straight into the heart of the CBD, giving these communities easy access to other parts of Sydney they've never had.
You've seen already an incredible infusion of people from the lower North Shore and Sydney's northwest into places like Sydenham and Marrickville. Well, that'll only continue down the line.
Sophie Walsh, 9 News.
Princess Anne attended a ceremony in Melbourne this morning commemorating the 2 Victorian police officers allegedly killed by fugitive Desi Freeman. The Princess laid a wreath at the memorial in the King's Domain Gardens.
This year, 29th of September, we added 2 more names to this as a result of that tragedy.
Princess Anne is on a 4-day tour of Australia. Brisbane is the next stop. Meanwhile, the King has led Remembrance Sunday commemorations in London, the monarch appearing emotional during the service. Senior members of the royal family joining veterans and thousands of people across the country to pay their respects.
A salute followed by stirring silence before Big Ben chimed 11. The King leading London's Remembrance Sunday service, laying the first wreath at the cenotaph, followed by his heir, Prince William, and brother, Prince Edward. Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine watching on from a nearby balcony. The monarch appearing emotional as the normally bustling Whitehall fell quiet to reflect and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
We took part as part of the Gallipoli Association, which marches every year on behalf of those who had relatives in the Gallipoli campaign, and it was a thrilling experience to take part in.
This service is one of several the royal family are attending to commemorate Remembrance Day, forging ahead with their duties after a tumultuous few weeks. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who served in the Royal Navy, nowhere to be seen as he prepares to leave his Windsor home. In London, Jessica Millward, 9 News.
Police are searching for arsonists who firebombed a beauty clinic in Sydney's west. The owners of the Regent's Park Clinic say they have no idea why they've been targeted.
A local business up in flames. Regent's Park just before midnight. The ferocity of the fire, a telltale sign.
The rapid fire spread and the burn patterns. The fire is being treated as suspicious.
A witness seeing 2 men with their faces covered watching the blaze. Video seen by 9 News showing 2 masked men fleeing in a car just as the fire took hold. Residents living upstairs forced out of their homes.
The heat and the smoke rises. We need to get up as quickly as possible to make sure there's been no fire spread.
This morning, the owners of Killarney Clinic left picking up the pieces.
You can see Killarney Clinic, Regent's Park has been burnt down. Last night at around midnight, someone came in and decided to light it all up.
I've seen a lot of the girls and the owner. They're absolutely beautiful, kind, welcoming, generous.
The owners have had this shop for 3 years and this is what's left of it. Despite the destruction, they've told 9 News they're not going to let this get them down. Recently opening a second shop in Bass Hill, they say they have no idea why this has happened to their first